In this video, I want to do a deep dive on the Pages section of Squarespace. So I'm already logged into my site. You can log into yours by clicking Escape. Once you do so, you will see the sidebar, and let's click into Pages. So I know pages might sound pretty simple, like these are the pages on your navigation or in your footer, but there's so much more that we can do in this Pages section, so I want to show you. First, I want to show you the several sections that are in this Pages tab. So the first is primary navigation. That's the obvious. That's what people can see in the main navigation of your website. I've made mine into like to force the mobile menu for all views, but normally everybody's website has the main navigation that goes under the logo. So that's what these pages are. Then there's some templates have a secondary navigation, so that can also be shown at the top of the website, but maybe you make them into buttons or a different color. That's the secondary navigation, so still featured, but you can style them a little differently. I'll show you what I've done with mine. So when I click on this, you can see that my main navigation pages are black, and then my secondary navigation pages, which I still want on my main navigation, but they're not as important, if that makes sense. So I've made them the same size, the same font. I've just made them a little bit lighter because, let's be real, my privacy policy is not as important as my services page. So that's how I've used the primary and secondary navigation on my own website. And then there's the footer navigation. Oftentimes I will put the privacy policy down in the footer, or even like the FAQ or the contact. On this site I don't currently have anything in the footer, but I will drag this privacy policy page down, and you can see there it is down at the very bottom here. So if you want some links in your footer, you can add things to your footer navigation. I'm going to put that back. And sometimes when I build websites, I will actually duplicate the main navigation into the footer navigation. So if you have long pages, this is helpful because if you scroll down, you can see my menu bar is locked at the top at all times, but if yours isn't and it kind of scrolls away, if you get to the bottom of a long page, people aren't going to want to scroll all the way back up to get to the navigation. So that's where it helps to have the navigation in the footer. And then this not linked section, I use it for all sorts of different things. But basically this section is for pages that you want on your website, but not for people to be able to find unless they have a link. So again, I use this for a lot of different reasons, but that's basically the gist of the not linked section. And then you can see here I have pages that are kind of grayed out. These are pages that I don't really want to part with yet. I don't want to delete, but I don't want them active on my website. So let's just start there since I've already said that. So if you have a page on your website that you want to keep but not delete, but don't want it to be active anymore, if you hover over that page, click this little settings icon here on the right, then this enable page option right here, if you turn that little tab off and then hit save, you can see it grayed out the page. So the page is still there for me to go back to if I want to, but nobody, even if they have the link, can get to that page anymore. So for me, I'm going to turn this back on and hit save. This is a page of free downloads that I've had for my blog, but it's a page that I created several years ago, so it's like people are still getting the link to that page, so I want them to be able to find it, but I don't want it to be something that's super obvious on my website, if that makes sense. And you can see I've made myself even a little folder. These are pages that I have on my site that I want to keep, but I know I need to rework. But let's go back to the top. I'm going to click this plus bar right here, and when you see that, you can see create a new page, and there's all sorts of different options of pages that we could create. For layouts, I personally always go for blank because I know that I can move blocks around and make the page look however I want. But if you're DIYing your website, maybe one of these templates would work for you. So you can see this about. If you click that, it's going to give you a page. Let's just click it. A couple page options. So you can see this one has some text at the top, and then it's going to have an image block for you to add an image, and then text, and then these look like little social media icons. So if you want to have your about page already laid out so you can just drop in your content, these layouts might be good for you. I tend to always go for blank, just get a blank page, and I take the content that I have and make it into a layout that makes sense for me. Next are collections. So the galleries, that's exactly what it sounds like for photo galleries or video galleries. Products, again, exactly what it sounds like. That's where you can add products to a shop. So I would add, if you're going to add a shop, just click this products tab once, and you can name it shop or store, whatever you want to name it. And then once you're into that page, that's when you can add your various products. The blog, again, this is a blog. You create the blog once, and then once you're in it, you can add your various posts. Same with events. You add the events or shows or whatever you want to call it. You add the events page once, and then once you're in it, that's where you can add all your various events. The album page is for audio tracks, so you can add the album. You can add your album description, your album cover, and then your audio tracks. And then the index is one of my favorite things to use because it's how I stack various pages. You can see I have a lot of indexes over here in my primary navigation, and I will show you how to do that in a minute. I do want to say, if you're watching this and you are on Squarespace 7.1, this is not going to be relevant to you. So this is for Squarespace 7. On other, a cover page. This is basically what a lot of people call a landing page. It's one page. It doesn't have your header or your footer or anything in it. And then the folder, this is what you use if you want to have drop-down option in your menu. So you add a folder to your navigation, and then you can put your pages that you want to drop down in that folder. And then a link. I can show you how I use this link as well. But that just links, you can link to a page on your website using that. So when I said earlier that I duplicate the main navigation in the footer, this is what I will use for that. I will keep all the pages in the main navigation, and then in the footer I will just select this link and link to that page in the footer section instead of recreating the whole page. That kind of defeats the purpose. So these are the page options that we have, which is a lot. So I'll show you this index section. You can see here the two little bars, that's the index. And you can see in that index I have a lot of different pages, and I have a gallery in there as well. Same with my services, a lot of different pages and a gallery snuck in there. Here's a folder with 2 pages to drop down. I'll show you what that looks like on the mobile menu. When I click portfolio, it then gives me my 2 drop down options. And my blog option, another index. This doesn't necessarily have to be an index, but I wanted to make it match the rest of my pages. Okay, so here's a link, and then I have a link up here. So I'll show you, where's my about page? Let's see, what is that linking to? If I click on this about, oh, I remember. Click on this about here. So I don't actually have an about page. My about page is on the home page. So let's close this, and then let's hit about. And what that does on my website is it just drops you down on my home page to where I have this section about our team. So you can see if I scroll up, this is the home page, but when I click about, it drops me. Since this is its own page, then I can do that. I can just say, I want you to direct people to this page, even though it's part of a whole index of pages. And where was that other link? Community. We'll see where this one goes. So this one goes to my Music Biz Besties website. So that's a link off of this site. So I'm going to click this settings tab and show you whenever I link to any website, any kind of link that goes off of my website, I always say open in a new window. That way my website stays open and the link opens in a new tab. So my website doesn't get replaced with whatever I'm linking to. So I always turn on that open in a new window when I'm linking to another website. So that's another example of how to use a link. Let's see what else I have here. So these are my galleries. And in here, I just add my images. And when you do that, you can click and drag to reorder however you like. They're super simple to use. You just click this plus button here, and you can add images or videos, or you can just simply drag and drop your images right into this section here with all the rest of the images. So yeah, lots you can do with the pages. That's kind of the different types of pages and layouts and settings for the pages. Now I want to show you the specific settings of an individual page. So for my home page, I'm going to hover over this index section and click on the settings icon on the right. And you can see here there's an SEO option. This is still somewhat new for Squarespace. It's giving you the option to add SEO for individual pages. So when you click on this, since this is my home page, I guess I'll go pick another page. Let's do that. Let's click on Services, SEO. Here we go. So since that was my home page, the home page uses the main SEO description that I put in for the whole site. So when I click into any other page, you can see here I've written a little description for my services page. Just another way to get some more keywords and tags in there, and for Google to better know what this page is about on your website. So I threw in the word Nashville, website, brand design, musicians, small businesses, because that's what my services are for. And you can add this is optional. All of this is optional. They're just added features that you can use to make your site even better. So I could type in services here, but since my page is already named services, I don't need to do that. You can also hide a page from search results. So some of those pages I was showing you down below in the not linked section, if I want them to still be there, but people not to be able to find them on their own or search for them, you can hide pages from the search results. That's also an option. And I'll just save that. And let's go to another page. I'll show you one more thing. Let's go to hover over this contact here, click the little settings icon, and I want to show you this URL slug option. For me, it's always really obvious when someone has DIY'd their website because they'll have page URLs that look like this, which means that they've tried to create a contact page like 4 times and they've named it the same thing, and then Squarespace just defaults to every time you create a page with the same name, it just adds a 111. So just make sure your URLs are super clean. That way you can say, to contact me, go to designingtherow.com/contact. You don't want it to be designingtherow.com/new page or designingtherow.com/contact-1-1. This is just a way to make your website look really clean, and also it's good for your SEO and for Google searches and all of the things. So just make sure, please, if you take anything from this video, to make your URL slug clean. So I'm going to save that. And also you can change it if you want. If you make a page and it looks like this and you come to edit it, just change it. It's super simple. It can be whatever you want. It doesn't have to match the page title or the navigation title. These can be different, but just make it clean and simple. I'll cancel. I'll just discard my changes there. So that is all about the pages. I think I covered everything I can think of about adding pages, the types of pages. I showed you the not linked section, how you can use that, how to enable and disable pages. We talked about SEO, how to hide pages from the SEO, and how to clean up your URLs. So if you have any other questions, please leave them for me in the comments. If this video was helpful, please give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.